Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Ultimate Alchemy, the exam of, well, alchemizing things. Um, I was playing by myself for the past 2 weeks or so. Actually, it's been a week and a half, but this is my big project that I've been working on. I did a couple things mainly because one, boredom, and two, my buddy Mike couldn't join me for half the time, so I did quite a bit. Now, just as a note, before anyone complains that I went ahead and did things, everything that I've done has been with materials that I've already had access to. So, yes, I've had access to pulverizers, I've had access to the cables that are energy flux ducts, and I've had compacting drawers. Now, I will explain how each of these things are made. It's fairly straightforward. I'm doing the extra steps in this so that I don't have to worry about the extra outputs. Because usually when you pulverize cobblestone, you get gravel and occasionally sand, and then when you pulverize gravel, you get sand and occasionally flint. So there are benefits to compressing it and decompressing it. That and I automatically get a bunch of sand sitting by when I need it. Now, I've done quite a bit of preparation, and I'm probably only going to do one thing at a time. I'm not quite sure how long this is going to take, but who knows. So, the first thing I have is glowstone. I think I showed it earlier. Pulverizing torches. This is the timing belt I had to make. Essentially, I just had to make a backup of charcoal so that this wouldn't outcraft, or the sticks wouldn't outcraft the charcoal. Needless to say, it works, it's self sufficient. This was much easier as sticks and cobble go into this crafter at a very fast rate, either way. And this is how you make redstone. Now, obviously, this takes a while in comparison to this, because it's 64 stacks of glowstone dust versus the, what is it, 150 something, 148 stacks of redstone or something like that. And then to make gunpowder, you actually can make fire charges, and the way to make fire charges is actually wood logs and charcoal. So it actually became very easy to just split this recipe on itself over and over again, making for a very easy way to make fire charges. Now, to make obsidian and bedrock, yes, this is bedrock, you are reading it correctly. The way to make this happen is mainly you take cobblestone, you compress it into compressed cobblestone, and I'm actually using a compacting drawer to compress it again because it's faster to actually do it this way. Now, my intention later is to make it so the compacting drawers are all on these, and these only. But this one, mainly I was just rushing to get it finished because, hey, bedrock is kind of cool to have. The other thing to note is it is surprisingly breakable. And it even says that. So, yeah. We have bedrock. Now, I started prepping materials for making nickel automation. The problem is, I don't need any of this now. Because I'm an idiot and didn't look into the recipes. Now, there are a couple recipes that I was looking into, and what would be the most efficient way of making things? Well, what I forgot to note was in order to make nickel, I'll go ahead and pull it up. The original way pulverized nickel, we would have made iron ore using a smeltery and consuming a lot of lava and power. But there's another way you can get nickel, and that is using a fractioning still, which requires 1 nickel grit. So, between sessions, I decided to take the liberty and make some pulverized nickel, so that, well, you don't have to watch the tedious process that is making fractioning stills. So I'm going to make 2 of these, because why not? I really wish I had a clear button. But that also means I don't need half of this stuff. So the other thing I'm going to need is a magmatic crucible, which I forgot to pre-prepare. But you all saw me prepare it last time, I think, when making... I could use... what do I want to do? Lava or power, lava or power? Well, the first thing I'm going to have to do, period... Oh, I need to show off one last thing. I moved the magma crucible away from that platform and put it under here. Literally all this is survivalist generators surrounding the magma crucible, and the magma crucible takes in cobble and pumps it, the lava, into this large tank. This is called a seared tank. It's just a giant liquid tank. So it's seared glass and brick and drains like a smeltery, but then all you have to do is put seared glass and leave the center hollow. And I learned the hard way that this seared tank controller has to be on the bottom. My hope was it could be up here on the top, but whatever. So now I have ready available lava. I think it said 70 buckets. It was 50 something plus 20 in that small tank. And then we have this thing. This is a seared furnace. It operates like these, but can smelt 16 items at a time. Here's a demonstration as someone decides to spam message me at 10 o'clock at night. So when you put all of those items inside that, like so, it will smelt 16 items at a time using lava. Now, this actually stores a lot more lava than that. And what's nice about this is I can smelt and finish all 4 stacks, or all 4 portions, all at the same time. Much easier than this. And in the end run, it ends up being much quicker, but the cost is lava. But now I have a seared tank, and the way I was able to get so many seared brick was because I made this first. Now, I looked up what was the most efficient one of these, and people said it doesn't really matter. So a lot of people go about 7 by 7 and then whatever height they want. I went 5 by 5 by 5, I think. Yeah. And this gives a decent amount of space while also being pretty manageable in size. With that being said, the next thing I might automate in this chain, because I have a bunch of stuff that I want to start automating. Over here we have materials for ender pearls, ender shards, silicone, and pistons. I'm going to do all of these another session, and the reason being is silicone is used to make refined storage, which is simply an automated storage system, so I can combine all 4 of these chests into a couple blocks of stuff and space. And I don't have to go searching for stuff, putting it in the crafting station, clearing out the crafting station. It'll do all of that for me at the cost of power. But in order to do that, we need more power. So this is our goal for today, is making this block. Now, the first thing we need to do is automate nickel. Now, luckily, with the new materials that I've obtained... Where did I put them? I'm only going to use 1 for now. I need a magma crucible, which means... Where's my bucket? Bucket. Did I lose my bucket? Oh, well. So I'll just go ahead and make a couple more. And ta-da, we now have 8 buckets. And here's the reason why I have this tank here. Ta-da! So now we have 8 buckets. I can start making lava or netherrack. And then I can smelt the netherrack into nether brick, making us another magma crucible. And the magma crucible, I think, actually, I'm going to double check this. Yes, it will do it. There's a particular mod that I know about. I think it's called Tinker Tweaks, which it simply, or Thermal Tweaks or something like that. It simply allows me to take iron ingots or vanilla ingots, put them in a magma crucible, and get the Tinker's Construct liquid metal. So, with that being said, I should be able to get... My brain is drawing a huge blank. I should be able to get nickel out of it. And for those that didn't see the recipe for it, the fractioning still can actually allow me to turn liquid iron into nickel. And it's one recipe. It's power heavy, but this is the cost to get. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is there a way to turn this into ingots faster? No, there is not. That's rather unfortunate. Which means I still need a casting table and I still need an ingot cast. Which, meh. Cool, one. Oh, come on now. I'm trying to do a million things at once, so I'm trying not to waste time and such here. Actually, I am curious. What happens if you pour lava directly into a casting basin? Does nothing happen? Interesting. This is another recipe that I'm going to look at in the near future. The way to make ender pearls is actually very painful in this mod pack. The actual way to get ender pearls is by drying them. And the way to get liquid ender or resonant ender is by throwing ender shards. And this is the recipe I'm going to use later. Now, originally the way to get ender shards is this way or pulverizing pistons. So I will show everybody how to do this recipe later, but it's definitely a painful one. I've played this pack a couple times in single player, and every time I've played it, I've come to the same solution for making ender pearls and for pistons. And that's using what we call a sequential fabricator, which I'll show over here, using a pattern validation. But this also requires the use of Invar and nickel, so I'm going to go ahead and make nickel first. I'm so glad we don't need any of this anymore. Though, I will need a couple things. I do need a compacting drawer. Do I have any extras? I do not. Do I have the mats to make one? I do. Boink. Steal that. Come back over here. We'll go ahead and make that. In the meantime, we can also make that. Oops. Make those, and now we can make our magma crucible. I think. Yes. So now I think we are pretty close to having everything. This is the last part that we need, which is the funniest to me. So, and here's my other tendency. I tend to build backwards. I need a... We have... You know what? I am going to do it by the casting basin. So, with that being said, I am going to put you there. Now if I do this right, you go there, you go there. Let's route them correctly. This is output. That is input. Next, I need you. My brain is running a loop for right now. Next, I need... What else did I need? I need to copy this. So I need a furnace. I need another 2 of these. I actually don't need that. Do I need stone? I do not. So the original intention of this was to make the iron ore over and over, and then process the iron ore through a pulverizer, abusing the fact that I could get the 10% chance for nickel, but now I'm skipping that step, so I'm having to count what goes where, why, how. So I'm having to mentally do all the process, do the mental process for that. And actually, I did that wrong. This, yep, we'll go back here. This is where things tend to get the messiest, is with vanilla furnaces. And I would use a redstone furnace, but they become so slow and obsolete. It's like not great using them. So vanilla furnaces early game work the best, period. Like, people can argue with me all day until you get to a point where you're producing more power and are using better cables than the leadstone ones. Not many things are better. And that is something that you just gotta accept with this pack. I am looking into another aspect, which is using flux points, which requires... I'll probably burn through all of this redstone in one go if I go to that point. Another thing I'm gonna do probably in between recordings is using at storage. I'm gonna be using some of these upgrades in between sessions because some of these do such a great job at... Storage drawers are great, they have upgrades. So do Java barrels, but I really enjoy using the storage drawers because they can all link together using a drawer controller. I don't know what a controller slave is. I don't know what that is. I have to do research on that. But I'm going to probably initially do gold upgrades, which octuples the storage capacity. So you're talking about 16 goes to 256? Or is that too much? 128. Something like that. I'm not the greatest at mental math. I grew up in the generation that used calculators. Unfortunately. I can do some mental math, but meh. I also apologize if my voice seems shot. Not quite sure what's going on there. But yeah. I'm just trucking along, and I'm almost done with this build. All I need to do is hook up the power to it. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'll remove that. And all of a sudden, we have iron. Right? Come on now. Yep, we got iron. So now I'm just gonna go hook up the power to this, which makes me a little disappointed that I have to go this route on the power, but... Do I not have any power? Good, he did leave the builder's wand behind. Awesome. Which means now I can work on things using the builder's wand. You may not believe this, but I actually did all of this by hand. This is gonna be my warehouse for project and clean builds. My hope is to make the exterior all iron blocks, which, yes, this is iron blocks, and this took me a long time. This redstone area, I think, is going to be my refined storage area, which I'm fine with using redstone blocks or really anything, because I can leave my computer on and I'll automatically get a replenishment overnight or over the day if I'm going to work on projects throughout the house. Cool. It works. Hey, it's actually making things. Cool. Is it really slow? Okay. But it is making, so I'm gonna see if I can accelerate this a little bit. Okay, and let's go ahead and accelerate this one as well. And, well, let's get our first block nickel out. So while that's going, the next thing we're going to want to make is Invar. Now, unfortunately, Invar is much more difficult to automate for a reason that not many people would expect. The materials are very easy to make, especially considering I have nickel now fully automated. Problem is nickel is slow to craft, no matter which kind, no matter which way you do it. Nickel this way, I could probably do it a lot, but the 10% chance is what's throwing it off. But if I go do it the other way, by Magma Crucible, it's slow, very slow, because it takes, what is it? Actually, we can calculate how much time it takes on max power. My brain. Well, while that's going, let's see, 20 RF a tick. Oh wait, wrong thing. So now this is freezing, and if this was done right, it'll plop right into the top of this machine. If it doesn't, I'm going to be a little disappointed. Please? Please? Do the thing. And GG. We have our first nickel. Now, despite popular belief, I am turning all of this into Invar. Oops. And the reason I'm turning all of it into Invar is because Invar has more uses in this mod pack than most things do. And, well, I'll demonstrate here in a moment. So 24 ingots, make 2 blocks and change. 1, 2. Cool. So here we have 20-something Invar ingots. Now, Invar is what's used to make a lot of the next steps. But the one in particular we're needing is this one, the igneous extruder. Now, the igneous extruder allows me... Ooh, should I make more than one? Oh, well, that'll be an unpopular opinion, but if I do it... Nah, who cares? So here's the next thing that we need to automate. We have nickel. I don't need to say any more than that. Most people would end it there. It's already been 25 minutes. Oops. My hope was to make these episodes pretty concise, but seeing as, well, yeah, I got one thing done. I'm going to do one more thing for this session, and that is I'm going to make water. Now, water is actually pretty easy to make, thankfully. To make water, you put oak wood in a squeezer. So what does it take to make a squeezer? Well, luckily I have all the materials except wood. Hey, guess what? We got wood. Oops, wrong chest. And that should be it. There's a squeezer. And now we have water. Technically, I can put this anywhere. What I really should do is make another seared tank somewhere over here. Fill it up with water. Because the other thing that's really cool about this pack is we can make ender tanks. And these ender tanks will allow me to transport water from point A to point B without using buckets or pipes. It's very clean, it's very separate. And the way these ender chests work is they use dyes. The problem is we don't have dye yet. So, how does one get dye? I'm not going to go into that this session. Let's just say that it's much more painful than you think. So these aren't exactly practical until you get past getting dirt and grass. And a lot of people may not think it's practical, but it'd be a lot more, the process is a lot more practical, automated. So I'm not going to get dyes yet, unfortunately, as much as I want to. So let's see, what else can we automate really quickly? That took a lot longer than I expected, but ta-da! That's how you automate nickel. What is the next thing I should automate? I could automate seared brick. That's what I need to automate. This is a project that will help us in the long run. So in order to make coal, this is interesting. In order to make coal, we need pulverized charcoal. In order to make pulverized charcoal, we need a pulverizer, charcoal, and that. I'm not doing this recipe as slow as it is. I'm going to use a regular furnace again. But a lot of people were concerned in the previous server I was on when I made 10 of these, or this case, I have 8 in a straight line. They were asking me, what is the purpose of this? Like, what is the purpose of making this? Well, creosote oil is a free byproduct that also provides power. Now, it doesn't provide much, but even a tiny, tiny bit of power into a system is great, especially when everything in this pack requires redstone flux, or RF. So, that is my next project. Of course, there are other things you could do in using creosote oil. The obvious one being using it in immersive engineering as its product. Also, the way to make coke brick, it's just gravel, bricks, and sandstone. Sandstone is made, obviously, with 4 sand and a crafting bench. Bricks are made by smelting gravel. Sandstone. Ta-da. And that is how you make coke brick. It's a very easy recipe. It's a matter of getting the math right, because each structure requires 27. It's a 3x3 multi-block. Then you need an engineer's hammer, which I will go ahead and make. If I can. Hammer. That's a lot of hammers. We want this one. String. We can't make an engineer's hammer. Oh no. It means I can't make any of this. Oh boy. I got way ahead of myself. In order to make vines, we need to make oak saplings. In order to make oak saplings, we need water and a dead bush. With a dead bush, we need water and 2 sticks. And in order to make sticks, it's the duh recipe. So let's make a couple of these. Oh wait, I need a couple axes, which means I'm gonna throw those in there. And follow this chain all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't question why I'm making so many. This is one of the longest resource chains in the game, and it's painful no matter which way you do it. So, yeah. Is there an easy way to make this? Copper ore. Cool. I'm gonna abuse that. This one I'm actually gonna abuse, because I'm assuming the way you make copper ore is, yep, same way you make iron ore. That's a recipe chain for later. It's the reason why you need a lot of the fractioning stills. It's how you make lapis. Using this, you can take polished diorite and make lapis lazuli in true essence. Essence of true blue, and you can follow the rabbit hole all the way down using 10 different lapis or different blue. And then you need blue dye, which this is the dye we're going to get. And this is how you get it. In order to make grass blocks, we need compost, which is this recipe. In order to make dirt, we need to make liquid dirt and gravel. And in order to make liquid dirt, we need a still with life, water of life, which is compost, which is that, plus gravel and water makes that. All goody wrapped together. That's a long recipe chain that I'd be willing to build beforehand, but I'm going to do it in session because I know that's a common one that people want to see done and automated. I do not perfect myself on builds of efficiency. I try to do it kind of in a straight line, kind of pretty, but most of the time they're ramshackled. It's get it done so that I can leave it and it'll be ready. My first step is automation. My end goal for this series, I would say, is just completing the exam, but I'm really tempted to go one step further and say complete the exam using the refined storage auto crafting and see if I can get it to work with Draconic Evolution. If not, I'd be full on down to automate clay. Like, if I could just automate it, that'd be fun. But if I could get it to smart automate, that would be even cooler. Is to see if my ME system or my refined storage system can fully... Is it smart enough? So, yeah. Unfortunately, Mike isn't here, so he kept working on this maze. I'm curious what it looks like. Fun. So, let's begin. I always like going down the middle path. Nope. This isn't it. I know Mike well enough to know that if he changes the blocks around something, then it's not the right path. The fact that I'm making a lot of distance says that I'm... Well... Okay, that's a dead end. I'm gonna try from here and just see if I can make it out. Yeah, I'll go this way. Though I have a feeling that if I know him, yep, dead end. I'm making a mental map of how this works. Wait, did I? It's a long snake of a way. I see light, and sure enough, there's the way out. So that's Mike's maze. I love that he's actually putting the effort into trying to make this work. It's interesting, but he hasn't been on in a few days, so I might give him a hard time a bit later for it. I think he has seen my build. We tend to video chat and just talk. he asked me what I was up to, and I told him I was building something big. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see me automate something in this pack, leave it down in the comments. I'll be sure to read them. And uh, yeah, I've been busy. All right, guys. See you later.